Okay, time to kick off a new project now that all the easy stuff is done. I'm going to get into the orange cable, but very gently and very slowly and carefully, and I'm going to replace the loops that go from the controller to the motor here and ends up right there and right there. So let's take these apart and go replicate them in sweet, sweet orange. Please feed the YouTube algorithm by giving the video a like. If you want to see more like this, click subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. If you want to chip in on my expenses, I now have Patreon and YouTube memberships. And here's our glorious orange cable. And this is the old one, which did not have a shield on it back in the day. But you can see here, maybe, that there's an extra ring of shielding around the main internal conductor. And that's an improvement from the olden days. And this is what you get for working in a well-equipped electric vehicle shop. Look at all of that sweet, sweet cable. So I'm doing this one first. And I need to account for the actual cable from the point where we remove the insulation up to the inside of the lug. So it's basically about there where the wires will stop inside the lug. And then I go like this, and then I will carefully set that to there and then make the cut. So I went hunting for lugs and I found exactly what I need, 2/05 5/16, which fits the existing bolt hole. But then I found they also have pre-bent 90-degree angle lugs where I had to bend this one myself. And you can see that it's a little bit worse for wear from where I had to put the bend in it. But pre-bent 90 degrees, absolutely perfect. Okay, Ian just walked me through the proper way to manage this cable. First thing you do is you cut back this far. You gently cut through the top layer of insulation, exposing the insulating braid. You then snip that away very carefully with some snips. Then you strip the insulation off the copper back to here. You put the lug on and then you run it in through the crimping machine, and then you slide a piece of orange shrink wrap over it. So let's do this end with the 90-degree lug. And the best way to do the shield removal is to actually pull this back, then use the snippers to go around, cut off as much as you can, and then slide the insulation back up again, and you'll have it completely encased, because you cannot get it perfect. Now comes the fun part. You gently take that off without disturbing the end of the copper too much. You gently slide it inside, making sure you have all of the strands inside. Then you line up the orientation for the second crimp. This is lined up with that along this axis. That looks good. You slide this into the machine. You tighten this, and you do a first gentle crimp. On. There we go. First gentle crimp. Make sure it's all the way in. Squeezy, squeezy, and release. Then go a little bit farther up. But don't go all the way to the shoulder of the lug. And you squeeze that puppy down. Release. Then go back and give the first crimp another gentle squeeze. So the goal is to do it in the middle of the lug, not too close to the actual lug and not too close to the shoulder where it connects to the cable. And there you have it. It even puts the number on there so you know that's a 25 millimeter. There. Now all we have to do is put on the shrink wrap. And the last step is putting on the orange shrink wrap. And you have to remember that you want to go from pretty much at the right angle. You want to cover up as much of the lug as you can and only leave exposed area for bolting down. Don't allow this much to show or this much or this much. You want all the way down here. Then make sure it's comfortably past the insulation cutoff mark. So if we go, I mean, this is a place where overkill is definitely encouraged, so I'm going to go like that much for fun. We'll make a cut here and then we'll do the shrink wrap. And when you're making the cut, I recommend using a pair of scissors and not a knife, because with a knife you're going to get a bit of a wavy edge and some little side cuts, but scissors do a beautiful job and it will look great once it's on the wire. So let's put this on and do the shrink wrap. All right, we've got a replacement cable with a little shot of cleaner. The wire looks beautiful. Now let's go ahead and bolt it into place. And there we go. First orange cable is in place. Looks pretty good. Looks like the future. All right, let's do some more. And there's cable number 2, which comes around to the S1 post on the motor, following the same path, bolted down. This is going really well. Okay, I've got 3 orange cables installed. That's all I can do for now. That one comes over here, and I even put the orange shrink wrap on the copper bus bar on the motor itself. So I've gone as far as I can before I actually start running the high voltage down here. So we'll call that a wrap for now.
Just before we wrap up, I want to thank my Patreons, Peter Bouvier and Puppy, for their support. We also just popped over 2,000 subscribers, which is quite a nice milestone for my little channel. All support is greatly appreciated. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up. I see that 81% of the viewers aren't subscribed. Please do, as it does help the YouTube algorithm. Take care and see you next time.